Yusuf, man, we about to talk politics. We about to talk Trump. We about to talk the little hat people. We about to talk what need to be talked about.
Maybe a little bit of
Basically.
mustache man. Maybe.
Alright. Yeah. So yeah, we gonna talk the real. You know what I'm saying? We live in a crazy ass time right now, and I think it'd be good for like our generation of people to kind of wake up when it comes to real life stuff. But hey, I'm gonna let you lead the way, man.
So yeah, like I say, I want to talk about a lot of stuff that we got going on with our administration right now. I was a big Trump supporter. I do still like some of the things Trump is doing. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of the times people get caught up in this Democrat, Republican. I gotta stick with Democrats because that's who I voted for. I gotta stick with Republicans because who I voted for. And overall, that's a stupid way of thinking. It's really low IQ. We need to hold also politicians to a standard. Trump voted. He ran on a lot of things. He's ran on tariffs. He ran on deportations. He ran on no new wars. He ran on no taxes on tips and stuff like that. He passed that. That's one thing he did good. Congratulations. But he ran on a lot of things that he did that he's no longer standing on. And I want to get into that because I've been arguing with some Trump supporters. Even though I'm a Trump supporter as well, but I'm willing to criticize him when he's wrong. A lot of these Trump supporters, they once they're Trump supporters, they're never going to turn their back on him. They're never going to criticize him, and I think that's a really stupid way of doing it. You're no better than the Democrats who vote for Democrats because they're black, or because it's no different. It's stupid. So yeah, Trump ran on tariffs. He ran on tariffs against China. He ran on tariffs against all our NATO countries, and then you slowly seen him back off of that because They put his feet to the fire. They challenged him on it. They match his tariffs, and then you see him drop his technology tariff against China. He still got.
Hey, I want to talk about that. So, what's this whole thing about Trump bringing 600,000
Chinese immigrants, right?
Immigrants.
Yeah.
So it's just this whole idea that this whole war on immigrants that he campaigned on, and this whole thing of, hey, we gonna get Americans back into the workforce, and we gonna train Americans to do this and do this. We gonna have these tariffs so we don't need China and all these other countries.
We gonna restabilize our own economy with our own jobs.
And just for him to try to, bring in 600,000 Chinese people
to take our job.
And but before then they was talking about bringing in Indians on the work visa. I forgot the specific one.
Because I know Elon and Vivek was fighting for
right.
that. What's it called? I forgot what that visa's called. But you gonna keep going.
But it's just crazy when you think that while our economy is slowly dwindling down, he bringing in immigrants. He making it harder for the average American to pay for school.
H-1B visa.
He making it harder for the average American to pay for school. A lot of the factory jobs and a lot of manufacturing jobs that he was talking about aren't gonna happen. And it's not American first when you say that we finna bring 600,000 Chinese people in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, America raised us on anti-Chinese propaganda, anti-Russian propaganda, the movies from Rocky, just any military movie growing up was based on the Middle East or is based on Russia or Chinese spies or whatever the case is, right? And they tell us that, hey, we need to hate these people.
Yep.
As a kid, I didn't even know what the fuck communism meant, but I knew communism was a bad thing.
Commies, yep. They call them commies. Like I said, it's always a name that they call them their enemies. They call them communists. They call them terrorists now in the Middle East. They call you anti-Semites now if you talk about Israel. They talk about, like I said, they always give a buzz term to their enemies so that you grow up hating them.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't even know why the Middle East hates us. Why we have conflict in the Middle East? We never used to have Middle Eastern issues, but now since the 2000s or the late 90s, now we all hate Muslim countries for what?
But from what I don't understand with the Middle East thing, and during like the 70s, we were a lot of those allies. Like we funded a lot of those.
Yeah, we helped Bin Laden fight Saddam Hussein. Mm-hmm. But we was allies with Bin Laden before we accused him of bombing, doing 9/11, which they had ties in it, but we also know who else had ties in it. But we'll get to that later if you want. But we never used to have problems, and like I said, the only problems we had in the Middle East now is ever since the creation of Israel. We never had problems in the Middle East until the creation of Israel. Now, all of a sudden, now the Middle Easterns hate us. They're saying death to America. They're preaching Antifada, whatever they call it. And like, bro, where do all these problems come from? Why do Middle Easterns hate us right now? And they say they hate us because we're free. They hate us because we're democracy. They don't give a fuck about democracy. Come on, be for real.
And the biggest difference between Israel and all those other Middle Eastern governments? is that they were American enemies because at a certain point when they was able to stand on their own, they was like, we don't want to, convert to your system of how you run your government. So America said, okay, now y'all the enemy now.
Exactly.
But they never had enough power to even do the shit Israel is doing. But for some reason, they made us think that they were just these great big evil people.
Yeah.
And Israel is 10 times the scarier, and force that, the Taliban or ISIS or any of these people ever was.
Or Hamas or any of them.
Right.
And they fund these guys. They funded Hamas. They pump money into Hamas to give them an enemy to fight. Because they want to take over Gaza. They don't have a reason to. So they funnel money into Gaza to give up to Hamas, to keep Hamas in power, so now they have an enemy to fight.
Right.
But let's go back to the Chinese people though. We just want to talk about
Alright, so yeah. So how you even feel about this whole brain 600,000? Like, it's not 6,000, it's not 600. 600,000 is a lot of people.
Exactly.
It's not, cities aren't even 600,000 big. That is like 3 cities.
That's the size of Boston.
That is crazy.
Like that's the population of Boston, 600,000 people. And you're bringing that amount of people over to our country, to our Ivy League schools. Like when these Chinese people come over, they're not coming to go to fucking Augusta Tech, Augusta University. But they ain't coming to America to go to these community colleges or these low tier colleges. They're coming to go to Yale. They're coming to go to Harvard. They're coming to go to all these major Ivy League schools, these high funded schools that work within our government, that usually get positions in our government or have influence in our country. This is the schools that they come into. And yes, we do need some immigrants because, like I said, apparently Americans can't fill all the quota for these high tech jobs or these high power jobs. But when you're running on cracking down on immigration, you're talking about how Biden led on millions and millions of immigrants in our country, which aren't all Mexicans, by the way. Don't catch that, because they'll like to twist that and make it seem like, oh, all the immigrants is coming in the Mexicans. No, there's a bunch of Chinese immigrants in here. There's a bunch of Middle Eastern immigrants in here. There's a bunch of South American immigrants in here, Caribbean immigrants. They come from all over the world. So that's not just making it seem like, oh, it's just a Mexican thing. That's why I don't understand these protests that have been going on. But yeah, you're cracking down on immigration, but then you're saying you're gonna let all these 600,000 Chinese people come in, and these people are actual threats to actual American jobs, like high tier American jobs. These aren't like your construction workers, like the Mexicans or the Latinos be doing. These ain't the low tier jobs. You're trying to give our high tier jobs away, right, which is an even bigger problem. So that's one problem. And then two, like I said, China is supposed to be our enemy. Why are you bringing all these Chinese immigrants? They be Chinese spies. You got Chinese spy balloons flying over here. You got Chinese people buying farmland right beside our military bases all over the U.S. And now you're bringing 600,000 Chinese people into our country?
Right, it just make you think.
How is that America first?
It just make you think what kind of game they playing. Like they keep us also. It's like a big board game. They set these rules for us. Hey, this is your enemy. Mm-hmm. This is who you're gonna fight. But within a certain type of class or within a certain type of position within government or whatever the case is, bro, they all equal once you get to a certain level. But they all make us think that it's us versus the next person.
It's always a greater enemy, so we don't
right.
Them.
So even if it's not black and white or Mexican versus American, it's even on an international level. It's crazy how they just made us think that, hey, China was the enemy, and now But I want to even get on this whole thing. Did you know that a lot of these DEI programs are getting shut down throughout college all across America, but except for Jewish students?
Oh yeah. Of course not Jewish students.
That is fucking crazy.
Who else?
That is crazy.
Of course not Jewish students. Who else would they? No, they're not getting rid of Jewish students. They have the Holocaust happen to them,
bro.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, no, they'll never do that. Like I said, all of these politicians that we have in our country right now, like all of these major corporations, these major news stations, these major influential media or programs, these NGOs, all of these are run by Zionist Jews who fight. They put their money in, they pump their money into the American system, and they buy influence. They buy your politicians. They buy our news stations. They buy our presidents. They blackmail as well. Not just buying, they'll blackmail you as well if you don't want to get on board, which was the Jeffrey Epstein thing, which is why Trump is now cucking for Israel, pulling out Benjamin Netanyahu's seat. He's constantly saying, beneficial things to Israel. You can't burn the Israeli flag, but you can burn the American flag. if you're trying to get a government job, or if you're trying to open up a government contracting company, you can't open it without pledging allegiance to Israel. Like, what? I thought we were the United States of America. We're not the United States of Israel. What are we doing here?
Right. And then, so the schools were, well, and these are just 2 schools. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like plenty schools, but they came across my timeline.
It's all of them.
But Brown University and Columbia University, they cut out the DEI programs for everybody except Jewish students. And back to what you were saying, this is not American first. You know, they told us, hey, DEI was bad. Except if you was Jewish, except if you came from a certain class, if you like people, because most of this administration, most people who within the administration are people who were just rich, and Trump just said, "Hey,
came from these Ivy League schools."
J.D.
Vance, he went to Harvard, Yale, something like that. Like most of these politicians come from these high end schools, and they are usually nepotism, or they have Zionist ties, or they
nepotism is the biggest thing, right? And I just wonder, right? So when Trump was campaigning last year, right, he was campaigning a lot on behalf of the working class. You know, eggs too high, groceries too high, gas too high, Biden not doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, if you're gonna fix it, cool. But my biggest thing was, hey, and it's just not even when it comes to groceries and gas and stuff like that, but as Americans, Democrat or Republican, why do we vote in Nepo babies who never actually worked a 9 to 5 ever in their life?
Because no one does the history. No one does the history. That's why I like the Nick guy that you kind of don't want to bring up, because he goes back and he breaks down how these people are related, how they tied in together, where they led each other from, how this person has ties to this person, how they know each other, and how the businesses they got together, the corporations they started together, who invested into who, and then when you look at it, it's all just a huge cabal of Nepo babies, Zionist propagandists, Zionist funded. They're all tied together. J.D. Vance is going to be the next Republican candidate, and guess what he's tied with? Peter Thiel, who's a Zionist faggot, a Zionist homosexual that funds a lot of corporations. He's part of the PayPal mafia. He's with Vivek. Vivek's running for Ohio governor. Trump's pushing Vivek in the Ohio race. Like that's all tied together. They're all pushing this technocrat regime. They're all pushing this. Like I said, they all have each other's best interests at heart, and it's all because they have Zionist ties. They have blackmail. They have money. It's the 3 things that they use.
Right. As Americans, I feel like not only do we need an age limit, a term limit for people, we shouldn't have people who've been in Congress since the 70s still in Congress in 2025. Not only that, but I think it need to be a salary limit or like a net worth limit when it comes to presidents or
not even. It has to be an America first policy. If you serve military in another country, you cannot serve our country. You cannot serve our government. If you have a dual citizenship in another country, you cannot serve our country. You cannot serve our government. You cannot be a president. If you have companies in other countries where there's a conflict of interest, you cannot be our president. You cannot be our. You cannot work in our government. Like I said, serving our government is a privilege. It's not a right.
Right.
So people arguing. Like I was arguing with some Trump supporters on this. They were saying that's against the rights. No, it's not. It's not a right to serve our country. It's a privilege. When you get the privilege of serving our country, you don't get to be aligned with any other country. Your only best interest is America. Right. America first. That's what all people should be leaving. We should not have all these politicians that have dual allegiance to Israel. They have citizenship in Israel. They have citizenship in the United States. That should not be allowed. There's no reason why you should be able to go to another country while serving America and live like a citizen in another country. Like if you go to another country and you don't have citizenship, you have a timetable before you have to leave. That's how it should be. You should not be able to go to another country and live there. No, that should not be allowed. That's not America first.
Yeah,
that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. So, but you don't think we should start promoting more average American archetypes as far as we don't need billionaires being able to run for presidency, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think we need billionaires being able to allowed to be running for president. I think I feel more comfortable with somebody who more than likely had an average American background. I think it should be salary caps on people who went for president.
But see, that's what they're trying to do now, though. They're trying to disguise people as average Americans. J.D. Vance, he's just he comes from a single family household, and his mom was a single mother and she paid for him to college and he was just a regular American. They trying to now paint this narrative that he's just a regular American. He comes from low income wages like the rest of us and he struggles like the rest of us. No, they're already on to it. They're already one step ahead.
So tell me a little bit about JD Vance. Like, I don't really know too much about him.
So JD Vance, he's a graduate of Yale. When he was going to Yale, he was taken under. He was a mentor. He got a mentor named Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel took him under his wing as his mentor. He mentored him through college. He let him come work at quote unquote work at his company as a high paying wage. He never showed up to work. People that worked for the company said that they never seen JD Vance. They never ever seen him coming through.
So what type of company was it? Like
it was some type of tech company.
Like a tech company?
Yeah, it's a tech company. They're the tech bros or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I said, and Peter Thiel comes from the PayPal mafia. Elon Musk, Vivek, Peter Thiel, they all come from the background of PayPal. That's how they all got their glory.
So JD Vance do come from a single.
Yeah, he comes from a single.
So is his mom come from money? Or?
Nah, but it's just that JD Vance has that. So what they do is they get these normal people, and
type shit,
and then they make them into exactly and make them to push the narrative, and make them a puppet basically. So he took JD Vance under his wing. He put him in his company. JD Vance was going around touring these countries or whatever. Went to Israel. You know, they do all their little Jews thing.
Is JD Vance Jewish?
No, but he's a Zionist.
Yeah.
He's married to an Indian. He has no.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's it.
I think I want to do a little bit more research on JD Vance because, I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't have a full ride to Yale, and anybody who go to Yale.
He was funded through Yale.
You gotta have a little bit of money. So I mean, maybe JD Vance's family got money, or grandparents or somebody's connected to somebody. So I think I'm gonna do a little bit more research on him. I'm pretty sure he ain't come from the slums. He ain't come from the hood.
Nah, he come from
the
hood.
9 times out of 10 raised in a rural area, suburb area maybe, or they didn't live in a very diverse area. But
like I was saying, he got a company funded. He eventually opened up his own venture capital firm. I forgot what the name of it is. Damn, what's the company name? But it was funded by Peter Thiel and who else was it? Damn, it slipped my mind. I don't think it was Vivek. Man, that's not for me. I'm not gonna lie. But I think I think it was Peter Thiel and someone else. I forget. But they funded his own company. Funded a company for him to open up a show company. It was like it was like an investment firm where multiple other people own this firm together. They all invested into it, and they basically JD Vance. No, it's JD Vance. He got this company. Damn, I forgot. I gotta watch the video. But Nick F. He made a video on it. You gotta watch it. I'll send it to you. But yeah, he broke down the video and everything of where JD Vance comes from, where Peter Thiel comes from, Elon Musk, and how they all tied back together. But yeah, he was basically funded by Peter Thiel, who's a Zionist Jew, who took him under his wing and they propped him up. They made his book. That's where it came from. Hillbilly Elegy. They made him a book where he promoted that book out. It's called Hillbilly Elegy. That's where he got most of his money from. Then he opened up his venture capital firm through investments through Peter Thiel and the book money that he had. He opened up that company, and yeah, he had Jewish investors, and now he's running for president. Like, no one knows who JD Vance was. Where did JD Vance nomination even come from?
I don't know.
No one even knew who JD Vance was, and now he's also our vice president, getting nominated by Donald Trump.
Because I seen something that said that
he was never a governor.
Trump was damn near he had to run with JD Vance.
They were gonna kill him if he did.
Something like that.
Yeah, like literally. Where did JD Vance go? No one knows who JD Vance is.
Because in 2016, JD Vance ain't even like.
Yes, he was a never Trumper. The same thing with Elon Musk. He was a never Trumper. Same thing with Vivek. They all hated Trump. But now that Trump since he got the assassination attempt, Elon Musk was the first person to jump on board. Remember?
Do you think that shit was real? I don't think the assassination attempt was real. Like,
I think it was, but I think it was a warning shot for him to get in line or die.
Because I'm. Not only is I'm suspicious because I think he used an AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, a bullet that big, when it comes that close to somebody's ear, it's supposed to have been way more damage than that, from my understanding. Then Trump had a Band-Aid on for 2 days. So, but not only that, I just think that the person who tried to kill the president of the United States, we should be more documentaries and videos about.
They're not gonna, because like I said, this is all, like I said, it might not have been real. It could have not been real. It was just maybe a ploy to get him more votes. Right. That's definitely possible.
We got tons of documentaries on Martin Luther King killer. We got tons of theories on JFK. We got biographies on fucking Abraham Lincoln, but we don't know anything about the person who tried to kill Trump.
Yeah. Because like I said, they're gonna bury it, man. If it was real, they're not gonna let you know because it was a planned assassination that failed. And if it ain't real, they definitely gonna let you know because now they basically cheated the election, quote unquote, with that narrative. Like I said, it's only possible that it's fake. We have no proof. They're not gonna tell us anything. They don't want to tell us anything about the shooter. All they said was he was a crazed Democrat or whatever. Like I said, and every time something happens, they always put it on the opposite. Anytime, like I said, anytime that shooting that just happened that shooting just happened.
I think like in
Minnesota. Yeah, all of a sudden he has anti-American Muslim stuff on it. Yeah. It says martial law and all that stuff. Like, come on, bro. Nobody's doing that, man. No one. Like, come on, bro. Make it less obvious. Anytime something happens with a guy threw fire. He threw Molotovs at those Jewish people that was protesting or whatever. He was a Hamas supporter or Free Palestine. He says Free Palestine before he throws it. It's always a narrative that they're pushing, regardless. They always trying to find a narrative to spin on it. It was someone else who did something crazy. I think the guy who assassinated those two Jewish people outside assassinated the woman and the guy that was outside the Jewish embassy. Jewish embassy or something like that. The embassy. He killed two Jewish people outside the embassy. Now they say, oh, he was a Muslim or whatever, and it was just a white guy. Like, come on, they always push these narratives anytime they can. So
let's talk about that right quick. Just kind of piggybacking off of what I said earlier. I just think it's weird as a kid. We all kind of. So let's think about the word anti-Semitic, right? So when we think of Semitic, we usually think of Middle Eastern people, right? When we break it down, the actual definition of what Semitic means, it basically means. It's a language family. It's a part of the Afro-Asiatic language family, the Semitic language family. So when we think something, you not trying to think of Arabs and that, sort of nature. Growing up, America was so anti-Islam to the point to where, as a kid, when you see somebody in like Muslim wear, like you just automatically assume bomb terrorists, right?
My mother was, like I said, so when I was a child. So I come from a Muslim background. My dad is Muslim. My mother was Muslim. So they used to wear. We was up north. She used to wear the whole hijab, the whole everything. You go and see her eyes and everything. They were literally getting attacked. Like Muslim sisters, Muslim brothers. If they wear their garments, they were literally getting attacked. Bro, they had to tell them to stop wearing it because if you wear it, they're killing everyone who's wearing it because they see you as terrorists. So
and it's crazy. The word anti-Semitic didn't exist until it was. White Jewish people.
And it's only used against Jewish people. It can only be anti-Semitic to Jews.
The smallest fucking demographic of Semitic speaking people in the world, the anti-Semitic only refers to them.
And they're not even really Semitic because they're not from the Middle East. They're from fucking Europe. That's why they don't want you blood testing. Benjamin Netanyahu's last name was Wilowowski or something like that. Malowowski.
Polish, right?
Yeah, he's like Polish. Like you're from Europe. How are we anti-Semitic to you? You're not Semitic. You're not Middle Eastern. Really, anyone who's against Palestinians are anti-Semitic.
Technically, by definition, yeah.
Like if you want to try to use anti-Semitic, that's really where it comes from because they're actually Semitic. They're actually Semites. Jews aren't Semites. The Ashkenazi Jews that's in Israel as at the moment are not really Semites. And let's talk about it. They push this whole anti-Muslim narrative on us and how Muslims hate us. Well, why do the Muslims hate Americans? Why do Muslims pay death to America? It's because we go over there, we support Israel. And we support Israel bombing them constantly. We go over there, we pillage their oil. We go over there, we destabilize their economies. Like, look up the Greater Israel Project is, right? Yeah.
We can watch a video later if you want to.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, to it.
But yeah, like the Muslims know that Israel has this Greater Israel Project where they're trying to take over these Muslim countries, destabilize them, and take over these Muslim countries. Egypt, Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Iran. They've already got most of them. Iran is the last one standing. Every other country has been either destabilized or bribed into working with Israel. Egypt and Jordan Egypt and Turkey, they're on Israel's border, but now they're the two top funded getting the most money from America. Why? Israel gets the most American aid. They get $3.5 billion yearly for what?
Right.
No one knows. Why does Israel get $3.5 billion from America? Why? No one can answer that question. Okay, cool. Then we give Egypt billions of dollars, and we give, it's either Jordan or Turkey, one of them. I think it's Jordan. But we give Jordan or Turkey billions of dollars. Well, why would we give them that money? It's because we want them to play nice with Israel. So all this money that we're giving out, the top three countries we give money out to benefits Israel and doesn't benefit us. How does that make sense? Like, so let's be for real. Like, they push this anti-Muslim narrative on us. They did the same thing with the Japanese. When we was in war with the Japanese, they pushed the anti-Jap, the commies. They put the Japanese in concentration camps. When Pearl Harbor got bombed,
right?
And they call them commies. No one like Japanese people. Like they do it every time. They push this narrative on us, and we naturally grow up hating these people because we think, oh, these are our oppressors. They're trying to kill us. Well, why are they trying to kill us? They give us a bullshit narrative. Oh, they hate us because we're free. That's what Bush said when
right.
They hate this democracy.
These people been living like this shit for hundreds and thousands of years. This is like they only know these type of governments and shit. They was doing good in ancient times before Western colonialism, and now you finna just tell us that democracy is the reason they just shitty now?
And what's crazy is we don't have any history of these other countries trying to spread communism into other countries. But we have history of your Western countries spreading democracy and pillaging other countries to spread democracy into it. Like, how are you accusing them and you're guilty of it?
But it just shows you how brainwashed we is as kids and just growing up.
It starts as a child.
It's like them as a kid, like, we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation under God.
From freedom, the American dream, that has just been programmed to tell us, hey, that we better than other people off the basis of freedom and democracy, and just made up shit that we don't even really even understand.
We're really not even free.
We not.
Like, to a certain extent, you're free as they let you be.
Right.
Like once they say you can't do this no more, like you can't burn the Israeli flag or you're going to jail, but it impedes our freedom of speech. Well, are you really free? Do you really have freedom of speech?
Mm-hmm.
If they can tell you can't say this, or you're getting deported back to, like I said, the college students, they were kicking these college students out of America because they were protesting against Israel.
Right.
Well, do they really have freedom of speech? Like,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Trump is the first president that we obviously seen. The Constitution don't regard him. Like he said fuck that. So it's just, at this point, I think it's about him just testing to see how far he can go. And every month he just go a little further, and
I know you wanted to talk about that the military. They push the military into our society and shit.
Yeah, we can
Cause I got mixed feelings on that, but
I wanna ask one last question though. The fact that people get in trouble for burning a foreign flag, the Israeli flag, it just make you wonder. All Bible shit aside, what connection do we really have to Israel?
Exactly. We don't have one. They say, even Nixon said it. He said, well, why do we support Israel? He said, it's a moral obligation. It's a moral alliance. What does that mean? We have literally no benefit from them. We get nothing from them. We give them all this money. We don't even get intelligence from them because they let 9/11 happen. And they knew about it.
Right.
So we don't even get proper intelligence from them. What benefit do we get from them? It's a moral obligation to defend Israel.
So it's just like you wonder, is a lot of these people even in office? I mean, because Trump obviously gonna only care what the fuck about himself. He gonna line his pockets, but even outside of Trump, I'm pretty sure it has been some more pure presidents in general. But outside of Trump, it just makes you think like, all these high-ranking official people, are they just in it for themselves? Because why is it so easy for them to just make decisions based on
the benefit of Israel?
The benefit of Israel, the benefit of money. How is it possible that we pay more taxes? They tell us like, hey, you can't have universal health care, but they gonna fund it for people in another country. So what type we just in a whole create a fucking system like a made up fucking rules. Yeah. We live in a society where we think we have freedom, but it's made up fucking freedom. We literally in the Garden of Eden right now. We think we free. We think we in this fucking wonderland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not really what's going on.
Like I said, I don't think. Like I said, to be honest, I don't think Trump was even playing. Like I don't think they even planned for Trump to actually win the 2016 election. No, and I think once he won it, they forced him to run again under their cabal because they see they seen how popular he was, they seen his fan base, that they forced him into their cabal, into their Jewish cabal. Because like I said, he had money already. He
was already Trump.
He's not winning because of blackmail. Like they forced him at this point. Like you gotta do what we say because we have video of you doing what he's doing with kids or whatever he's doing at Epstein Island. Because I think he was, and that's what's really forcing his hand now. Like I think if Trump could have got out the first time, I don't think he would have ran this time if he actually had a choice in it.
Yeah, because it's obvious Trump is more aggressive than he was. Because
his first term, he was against Israel. He was saying, "I'm not taking their money because I don't need it. I'm a billionaire. I'm not going to take their money. I'm not taking donations from them." He didn't let AIPAC donate to his campaign. But once he got it, I don't think he didn't think he was going to win.
What I can say is Trump was more American first his first term.
Yeah, he was.
He was way more American first.
And then they slowly, like I said, they had those files. Once he got out of office the first time, he got caught with the files and everything. He had actual charges. Those charges were actually real. Like with those documents he would do real time for those documents. But once they had that on him, he was screwed. So yeah, shit. Like I said, once that happened, like he had no choice but to goddamn jump in line because once they console about to turn off. I don't know if it's gonna affect your stream or whatever, but yeah, once they got him in those charges, as soon as he got in line with their agenda, they dropped all the charges. All the charges dropped. Like I said, and they could have really slapped the book with him. So he was blackmailed from that. And then once he got in, they got the Epstein files. He's cooked.
You know, and I think what they told Trump, they was like, "Hey, Trump, you can play king. You can make your money. You can sell your Bibles. You can sell your shoes. You can inside trade." Because Trump is the first president to publicly inside trade. Inside trade supposed to be illegal for Congress, for presidents, for everybody. But Trump, he says, "Hey, I got a new meme coin dropping. I got a new coin dropping. Hey, I'm finna." So it's just like he publicly does what he want, and I think when he got in office, they said, "Hey, you can do that little bullshit, but listen, when it comes to this situation, you gotta bend down."
See, I don't think that's considered inside trading because it's not on the stock market; it's a crypto market. So that's why
it's the way crypto is looked at as now. It's still considered like inside trading,
but it's not regulated. So that's why he can go through the loophole because it's not really a regulated market yet. So he's technically not.
I think it is looked at more federally than it was when he first was president.
Yeah, they definitely started cracking down on it, but I don't think it's there yet.
Because pulling the rug is illegal. Period.
Yeah, it's rug pulling. Yeah, it is.
But because I think Trump coin right now is worth bullshit compared to when it first dropped beginning of the year. So they obviously was a rug pull situation. But even that, the crashing of the stock market a couple months ago was obviously an inside trade scheme. He even admitted on fucking camera. I don't think he realized he's been recorded. He was like, "These guys made millions of dollars." It was the fucking it was the CEO of like some big ass fucking companies, and he was just joking with them. Around the time that the stock market crashed, he was like, "These guys should be happy. They done made billions of dollars or some shit like that." So it's obvious that people that he fucked with benefited from the stock market crashing a couple months ago. So it's just like I said, it just make you wonder. I think they said, "Hey, listen, you can do what you want to do, but we're the Illuminati. When it comes to certain stuff, you ain't got no say in it."
Like I said, I don't think it is an Illuminati. I think it's just
but I'm using it as a metaphor though.
But yeah, like I said, Trump I think Trump has been kind of compromised since this first election because, like I said, this is how Iran war. This whole thing started from his first election. Mm-hmm. Like when he got rid of the Obama deal that they made with Iran, where they could regulate their nuclear facilities and their refining of the uranium, the refinement of uranium. He got rid of that, and what that did was that gave cause for Israel to be able to say, "Hey, they're trying to make nukes." Right. So that started the whole thing. Israel wanted them to get rid of that deal because Obama did a damn good deal. That was a great deal because Obama made that deal behind Israel's back. Israel was trying to cause conflict with Iran Obama didn't want that. Obama was really that's one thing I do like about Obama. Even though Obama did a lot of the bullcrap in our society, he did keep Israel in check. He wouldn't go fully with their cabal or whatever. They wanted him. They didn't want him to make that deal with Iran where the nuclear facilities and everything are regulated. But he did it behind their back. So that forced him to have peace with Iran. Well, Trump destroyed that deal, and then Iran still kept going with the deal for 2 more years after Trump ripped up the deal and put sanctions on them. He ripped up the deal and put sanctions on Iran, and basically Iran was screwed because, like I said, they had the deal where we still create radiation or whatever, and they can not be sanctioned from all these other countries in NATO, and they can still sell their oil and everything within our markets. Well, now they can't sell their oil and they can't enrich uranium. So now they're like, okay, we're going to keep doing it for 2 more years. Maybe they'll make another deal and we can go back to what we was doing. Well, they never made another deal. Mm-hmm. So now Iran starts enriching more uranium because now Iran's like, well, we have no safety measure because we don't know if Israel decides to attack us again, we can't really fight them off. So we're going to start enriching more uranium. So if we need to make a nuclear bomb, if push comes to shove, we can do it quicker. They basically had a nuclear bomb, but it's dismantled. But they can make one quick. That's why they started enriching the uranium up to 60%. Well, now Israel's saying, oh, they're trying to make nuclear bombs because they're enriching uranium, but we're not regulating. They have no regulations. Well, Trump made that up. Trump forced that to happen. They forced their hand to make enriched uranium because they're defenseless. They can't sell their oil. They can't sell none of their stuff in the American markets or Western markets. And Israel's attacking them over and over again. They're attacking Hezbollah. They're attacking them. Well, they had no choice but to. Now, like I said, things went on, and now Iran was, enriching more uranium. We have no regulations now. They're making nukes. They're making nukes. Now, if we really thought Iran was making nukes, would we really attack them? Think about it. Trump's first term, he was trying to get Kim Jong-un and North Korea in line. Why didn't we ever attack Kim Jong-un? They're a small country. Because they got nukes. Why don't we attack Russia when we don't like what they're doing with Ukraine? Because they got nukes. Right. So if we really thought Iran had nukes or the capability of nuking us back, we wouldn't have attacked them.
Right. Israel wouldn't have felt the need to attack them. They really felt threatened.
Exactly. So that's exactly why it's all BS. They try to make the Greater Israel Project. Mm. So it's crazy, man.
It's modern day and it's like in 2025. You can't do the old-fashioned colonialism. You can't just straight up just go do it. Exactly. So now they got to do it cute. They got to kind of make all these excuses, and they got to fake war. See, back in the old days, they could just, hey, we like this land. We gonna take it now. But now they got to make excuses for this and that, or we defending ourselves, and they defend themselves in the name of colonization, bro. And it's just crazy, bro. The Greater Israel Project is crazy because I just seen something. I think they just attacked.
They're taking over Gaza.
Oh, but no, they attacked. Was it Lebanon or I think they attacked Lebanon recently. Let me.
Yeah, I believe it because they did because Hezbollah. They're trying to destabilize Hezbollah and Iran. That's considered Iran's proxy, Hezbollah and Hamas or whatever. But like I said, Israel's the one who funds them. So. And they talk about ISIS.
Yeah, they just attacked southern Lebanon.
Yeah, I believe it. Like I said, and there was supposed to be a ceasefire. Right. But they always break the ceasefires. Don't you realize? They always break the ceasefires. Every time it's a ceasefire, they break it. Like this one with Iran, they're going to break it. They're not going to let this war is not over with Iran and Israel. It's not over. Because what Israel wants is a regime change. They don't want the regime that's in Iran currently to stay in power. Because what their plan was, they had something they call it Operation Rising Lion, when they attacked Iran to even start the war. Well, their plan was to attack Iran, kill their generals, destabilize their country, attack their nuclear bases and everything. Because Iran's sanctioned right now. They're basically in poverty. They can't make money, so their citizens are really mad. They're pissed off. Well, they thought, okay, if we destabilize the country, we can get some of the rebel groups to have the opportunity to uprise in Iran and take over to get the Ayatollah out of there. They don't want the Ayatollah in there. So they're like, okay, we can destabilize the country, kill their general. That will give the rebel groups a chance to uprise. Well, guess what? That's not what happened. All the rebel groups, everybody who was in Iran, they all protested for them to attack Israel back. They all gathered around the government and the Ayatollah, and they all fought back now. So now you united the country of Iran. You didn't get the regime change. You didn't get the uranium. So it was a fail. Right. It was a fail. They were losing the war. Fucking Iran was whooping that ass. and they need America coming in and save them, which is why. No, Iran doesn't want to fight America, but once America got involved to the point where they bombed their nuclear facilities, they did that little fake attack back where they bombed the base in, what was the base at? I forgot what Qatar, some shit. I think they attacked them back.
I believe
some American
Yemen.
base.
But I think Qatar. Yeah,
I think it was Qatar. They attacked their base back or whatever, and they told Trump to get everybody out because we're about to attack, and they didn't really try to hit them hard. They just had to show a little bit of force back to make it seem like they actually fought back or whatever, just so keep the people in America in Iran happy. But Israel definitely lost that war with Iran just now. Like, they got their ass handed to them. Because like, everything they tried to do, they failed. They gave up all their inside men, all their inside spies that they had in Iran were all revealed. They all got killed. They didn't get the regime change they wanted. They didn't get the nuclear. They didn't get the uranium because they definitely didn't. The uranium definitely got. They definitely got the uranium out. None of that got destroyed. And they still have the capabilities of building more nuclear bombs later on in the future. So
how you feel about the idea of trying to recruit American men into their military? Why how is it even legal for us to even fight for other country militaries in the first place?
That's exactly why I said that no one that dual allegiance shit. Like, we have dual allegiance people in our country that have Israel passports or Israel citizenship where they can go. Like I said, some of our politicians fought in IDF.
Right.
Like, that shouldn't be allowed.
Bruh, so let's talk about the situation you was telling me about how the man who was about to be on trial for.
Oh yeah, I forgot. What's his name? Tom, I think. What's his name? Tom something, I think. Look it up. But yeah, it was a tech guy. So we had a tech event in Nevada that just happened.
Yeah.
And so this guy came in. This guy he runs a tech company. He works directly under Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. And he comes in for the tech event, and he got caught up in an FBI sting operation, where the FBI was running this sting operation on some pedophiles that were trying to have sex with underage girls. Well, this high influential Israeli guy who worked directly under the Prime Minister of Israel was caught up in a pedo sex ring. So he gets arrested with 8 other people or 7 other people, and all other people are Americans. This one guy is Israeli. Well, he gets to get bonded out for $10,000 and gets to fly back to Israel the next day, where they have no extradition. They have the right. They have something called in Israel called the right of return, where they don't have to extradite anyone who's Jewish or Israeli back to their home country to face any type of trial. So this guy gets the luxury of bonding out after trying to rape American young girls, and he works for a high tech company under Benjamin Netanyahu. Somehow he's the only one that gets out and gets to fly back to another country. They don't seize his passport. They don't do a criminal indictment instantly. They don't do nothing. They let him bond out, and he gets to fly back to Israel the next day. That's insane. I've never heard of anything like that.
All right. So like what?
Oh, and the AG, she's Jewish. She's a Zionist. The Attorney General that over in Nevada, she's Jewish.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So I wonder how that happened.
And it's just crazy how any other person in that situation would have had to stay their ass right in America.
They wouldn't got bombed.
We go to Dubai, we smoke weed. What the fuck? You see the whole situation that happened with... If Brittany Griner wasn't a celebrity, Brittany Griner would still be in Russia right now. But the fact that we can have people... And what is this like whole pedophile undertone in our government right now? Why is there a big protection on fucking pedophiles and sex and like child predators and human sexual? Why is this like this big undertone? And like, is it so open now? Like at one point, the whole Pizzagate was a conspiracy. People would say, "No, you tripping." There's no like a whole government conspiracy of, the government, trafficking kids. But because Epstein Island, because of everything that's going down, is in our face. But it's like, it's normalized. It's normalized. We have people and damn, I want to see the fucking article. But we got Republicans who are trying to lower the fucking age of consent law.
It said like 14 or something like that, right? I seen that.
Right.
It's crazy. Like I said, but guess what? All that pedophilia, that's allowed in the Jewish religion. So all the people that have Zionist ties or they have dual allegiance or they have a Jewish background, they believe in this stuff anyways. This is what they want to do. This stuff is what they were trying to do back in Germany way back in the day when Mustache Man took the uprising. This ain't nothing new for them. They've been doing this stuff.
Right.
So for them to actually finally get their way and do it, this ain't nothing to them. They're just trying to now push it on us and slowly try to normalize it in our society. Why do you think that they push this? They push all this sexualizing in our society. They make porn a mass thing on social media now. They push homosexuality in our society. They push degenerate sex practices in our society.
Let's get on that though. But okay, so why is there been such a I'm gonna focus specifically on this current Republican or MAGA part, because I like to separate Republican from MAGA, right? But why was and I get your whole stance on homosexuality and transsexual. Understand that you don't really align with that stuff, but why does it seem like that shit was more of a conversation than pedophilia? Why is pedophilia kind of normalized to the same people who made homophobia the talk of the town? I feel like if you gonna demonize one, you have to definitely demonize pedophilia.
Well, they're both. I think they're both demonized. It's just that both sides do it. Democrats are
right. No, I agree.
And so are the Republicans. It's just that Republicans are in the hot seat. So now the Democrats point the finger.
But yeah, my thing is why but why when a dude touch a little girl, it's kind of like don't worry about it. We just gonna but when some gay shit happens, like oh my god he's gay.
He said it now this time with me.
But I'm just saying why is it kind of look like kind of hush keep?
I don't think it is. I think it's just within the administration because these people are guilty of it. They're gonna keep it on the hush because. One, they don't want to make the Republicans look bad because this will be the biggest scandal ever in the presidency. And then two, they ran on releasing the Epstein files. They will point the fingers at the Democrats saying, hey, why won't you release the Epstein files? Why won't you do it? Why won't you do it? But then they get in the hot seat, and now they won't do it because they now find out that they're in it as well. So it's not like the mass people are trying to do it. I think a lot of these politicians are guilty of it. They've all been to Israel. They've all been to the island. They've all been incorporated into this type of mindset where this stuff is okay. I don't think this is some type of hush hush within the normal people. I think these people that run these politicians or that are in this government, this is what they like and this is what they do. So they're trying to normalize it to the masses. Because anything that they pass or anything that they do, they have to normalize it or they have to try to convince the citizens first. So this is like when they wanted to attack Iraq. Well, they convinced the citizens first with this 9/11 thing, so they convinced us that, it was okay. Just like when they attacked Iran just recently. Well, we're not going to get fully involved. We're just going to destroy the nuclear things because it's for your safety. Usually they try to do it, it's for your safety, so this is why it's okay. Well, now what they did was they pushed all this sexual degeneracy into our societies where normal people start to like this shit. Like you ever watch it? This is gonna be some funny shit. But you ever find yourself watching porn and then you start watching some wild shit, like some fucking anime shit or some you start watching some shit, some shit. That's how these people go. That's the rabbit hole these people go down. They start doing they have so much power where they start having these weird sex fetishes, and now they have to start getting weirder and weirder and weirder and shit. And now they're fucking kids because that's how they get off now because they like more taboo shit.
Yeah.
So and that's what they're doing now.
But I do feel like MAGA a lot especially this prior campaign, focused a lot on transsexual athletes, focused a lot on just get rid of certain things seen in TV. But like I said, why is the same people who ran on that, not specifically saying the average person who voted MAGA, not obviously not, but as far as the congressmen, right, the lawmakers. Why was there a bigger push on that than pedophilia? Why are we trying to lower the age of consent law?
Well, you got to realize that Republicans have this conservative value. Republicans run on conservatism, and Democrats run on progressivism. So anything that's considered conservative, men not being in women's sports, that's a conservative take.
Pedophilia is conservative. I think pedophilia is looked at as wrong on both ends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, we're not. Conservatives don't believe in that shit either, but they're doing it under the table. They're not doing it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the average person who votes conservative Republican, but I'm saying the lawmakers who run conservative. And we all know when you run a Republican, Democrat, at a certain level, it don't really matter if you in the position of the lawmaker, right? You kind of just run it as far as which side you got the easiest chance of winning. Mm-hmm. But why? But my thing is, why is those people who sit in those seats on that side
why? I mean, we always
because they don't really believe it.
Right.
They say it because they don't want the conservative vote.
Exactly.
And once they get it, then they do what they actually want to do.
Right.
So they're just trying to get our conservative votes because they know this is what conservatives believe in. Conservatives don't believe in homosexuality. Conservatives don't believe in abortion. Conservatives don't believe in transgenderism. Conservatives don't believe in immigrants taking their jobs. This is conservative points that conservatives don't believe in. So they're gonna tell you what you want to hear. They tell us what we want to hear, and like I said, we all fell for it. I'm willing to admit it. We fell for that shit, and now they're trying to do what they actually want to do. They tell you, hey, we're against homosexuality, we're against pedophilia, but they actually want pedophilia, so now they're trying to normalize it. Now they got what they wanted from us. The vote. They just try to convince us through the vote. That's why we need to start doing better with who we vote for. Like, stop voting for these any politician that's funded by any type of AIPAC, any type of Israeli ties, any type of big government funding companies. Why can't we just vote for the average Tom from down the street to be president?
That's what I'm saying. We need that. That's why. Like you said, we need to ban corporations. We need to ban organizations to foreign entities. We need to ban fucking billionaires and 100 millionaires and those type of people from.
Because the only people that could run for presidency is people that have big money.
That have money, right?
Yeah, and that's a problem. Like we absorb it because we allow them to get pushed in the media because they push these people in the media. They buy advertisement and they push them in front of our face, and we are so blind to how they're getting in front of our faces that we just sit there and allow it to happen. Like, oh, why do I keep seeing vote for Gavin Newsom on my TV screen? Oh, I'm gonna either vote for Gavin Newsom or Ron DeSantis. But the only reason why you even thinking of these people is because they push them in your face with money.
Right.
So why can't we just listen to Harry from down the street or Jamal from down the street who got good ideas?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, why can't we just listen to people that got good ideas that we believe in and vote for them?
Right, and it makes you think America was never set up for the average Joe to even make decisions, right?
Exactly.
Because that's the whole reason why the electoral college exists. The forefathers didn't trust the average American with actually picking a person to run the country. That's the whole reason we have the electoral college. It wasn't really meant for,
Well, nah, it was because some states had more power.
That's the technical reason, but at a certain aspect, like, you still gotta understand, like, because I believe, for example, the 2016 election, Hillary had more popular votes than Trump, but Trump had a bigger electoral count because some Democrats during the electoral vote voted Trump instead of Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you, like, if it was straight popular vote, we would have had the first woman president in 2016.
Well, I'm glad we didn't do that shit though. We would have really been fucked up.
But because we have a system that kind of restricts the direct effectiveness of the average American vote, to an extent, you have to see, like, the electoral was made for that reason. It was made to where, okay, they can kind of, hey, let me adjust something right quick when it comes to how much Americans got to say when things happen in the country. Okay, hold on. That's the reason electoral college is. It's not made for us to have direct control over the president because, I
think that's what it turned into, but I think it originally was to offset the
because the certain states had more,
unproportionate amount of votes in different states. And so I think that's where it started off at. But then we let this money cabal come in and influence it through who has the most money, who has the most influence because of their position. Like we had good presidents back in the day. We had Nixon, he was decent. I think the last good president, the last actual American first president, the last actual American president that we've had was John F. Kennedy. And ever since he's been killed, we've been down the rabbit hole of Israel control. Lyndon B. Johnson, he was the biggest Israel shill ever. He's the reason why he started this whole Israel into our politics, Israel getting our greatest ally. He started all that. So I think losing Kennedy, as like I said, even though the Kennedys, they had their hands in some of the mob shit and stuff as well, but when it comes to being America first, I think that was the last actual true American president we had.
Yeah, because he obviously said, hey, I'm the fucking president. I don't give a fuck, bro. What the fuck you talking about? Like, I'm going to run the country how I want the country. Like you said, they didn't like that. So, what you say?
But yeah, I was about to say, we got to stop letting these people with money and influence come into our politics and just vote for them because that's who they throw in front of our face. Like, why can't we have like people that want to go for president and support? Like, why can't Kanye win presidency? Like, if people want to vote for Kanye,
There's a lot of reasons why that nigga should.
Nah, but I'm just saying, like, why can't Kanye or somebody that's just a regular person or somebody that just has a regular governor or someone that's just smart or know about politics, be just run for president and actually have a chance to win it?
Yeah, but it make you show you, like I said, bro, the president is an elite, and Trump is an outlier. He wasn't supposed to be the president because, he wasn't supposed to be the president. He's an outlier. On average, bro, the president becomes the president is a part of the small community. Mm-hmm. You know, Obama and fucking George Bush grew up together. George W. Bush,
of course,
they fucking grew up together. They was like fucking homeboys or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because as people know, Barack Obama didn't live the average Black American life. He's not Black American by technical standards. His mom white. His dad is African. He's not a Black American. He grew up in Hawaii. He had a South Korean stepdad. He didn't live the blackest thing in Obama's life is Michelle.
Maybe it's here.
So
I don't think Michelle's that black, honestly.
I mean, she grew up in O Block. I don't think blacker than that. I'm just saying. She can't really, but that's way blacker than the upbringing that Obama had. But the point is, he grew up in the elite, circle. A lot of the presidents grew up in elite circles. So it's a little deeper than money. It's not about how much money you got, Trump kind of showed that, hey, money plus influence. And, you got a couple old friends from back in the day, you might can do a little something. But even hell, he was a billionaire, right? But it could just go to show you, like, on average, like, and even now, he's fucking corrupted now.
Yeah, like 2016 Trump was the good Trump that we should have voted for to get what we want, that we want today done.
Right.
Was the 2016 Trump. Once Trump got, like I said, Trump was he was a mean president, honestly. He was a mean candidate. They never took him serious as actually a chance to win it. When he won, they never even tried to cheat the election because they never thought he would actually win. That's how much of a mean president he was. He was not the typical hosh posh candidate that would they'll sit there and debate. They're not gonna talk trash each other, call a crooked Hillary or call a Sleepy Joe. Like, he was not that. Like, no other president ever did that. So, and then no president that just self-funded themselves actually had, like, they never even thought him as an actual option. So he's actually proved that we can actually vote for who we want if they have influence. But the only thing is that once they get the influence, or once they have influence, they can get corrupted by the Jewish cabal, the Zionist cabal that infatuates our society, infatuates our politics. Like the people that work for Trump, they're all within the Zionist cabal where they was undermining Trump to overthrow his government, like try to impeach him and all that. They was literally trying to.
Yeah, a lot of people did try to turn on Trump after his first term. Like, some of the people that fought with him. Even Mike Pence don't fuck with Trump.
Exactly, because he was not part of. But like I said, the third time, all of a sudden everyone loves Trump. Even the people that hated Trump loves Trump. Like, you can't find anyone that was a Democrat that hates Trump now. Anyone that used to be a Democrat in 2016 that hated Trump, you can't find any of them to hate Trump now. It's because he's doing what they want. That's all it is, man. Like I said, they don't care if you're Democrat. They don't care if you're Republican. As long as you're pushing for the Jewish, the furtherance of Israel, they will support you. And that's just all it is. Like, yeah, man, it's crazy.
Right, though. How you feel about, let's get into the whole police state thing that you brought up. So, I personally feel like, I originally had made a statement saying I feel like the whole thing he doing is kind of his way of easing this whole dictatorship onto America, because now he has plans. I don't know if it's going to happen, but he got plans on trying to move to Chicago. Now, obviously with DC it doesn't have a state, it's just a city. So it's easy for him to do that now. With places with states, the governor can kind of push back a little bit.
Washington, isn't Washington a state?
Washington State, but Washington State and Washington D.C.
Oh yeah.
But
it's considered federal. It's considered like a federal city, so he has the right to do it.
Well, I mean, well, I think it's something in the Constitution to where like it's easy for him to do if he wanted with DC. Plus, they don't have a governor, so with places with a governor, they can kind of push back on certain shit. But you know, statistically, it showed that DC has been down crime within the lowest it has ever been in the past 30 years, at least 20-25%. I personally believe like, hey, whenever we see the American military is always used to exert the enforcement of politicians or to, you know, to bend the people to the politicians' will. We never seen military go to any country and actually make the place better. We only seen the military go there to enforce and to you know,
to push our propaganda.
Right. So when we looking at all these, and we can watch some videos, but when we look at all the different videos of what's going on, like I have shared an article the other day, but basically it was one day last week to where I think it was last week Tuesday, they made 91 arrests in DC. $25 of their arrests were immigration. Had to do with people with immigration issues, and the other majority was like petty little crime, like traffic ticket type shit, right? So it's kind of like, why the fuck do we need the military to? What excuse is there to have the military to address those type of issues, right? Why do we have the military just picking up trash around DC like they just peace officers or some shit? Why do we have? So it's in my head. It's obviously not about, hey, we finna send the military in like a task force to handle all these crazy situations. It's just more of trying to normalize the military just being around. Okay, yeah, they might just be doing roadblocks and picking up the trash or just surveying the area. They might not be doing any real hard work, but hey, we just gonna normalize you to just, they just being around like this, just the regular Joe, like they just the crossing guard, right? So they gonna do the Chicago. We all know Chicago is infamous for murder, crime, shootings, and stuff like that. But like I said, military presence is gonna stop a lot of the little petty bullshit going on, but it's not gonna stop the human traffickers. It's still not gonna, and until we address gun law issues in America, it's not gonna stop kids from being able to get guns. I don't know how you feel about gun laws, but I don't think that's gonna change until America has strict gun laws on who can get guns and things of that nature. But obviously, the whole gun world is a corporation. That's not gonna happen no time soon. So I just think that the military is kind of being normalized, and Trump wants to. Chicago, like I said, Chicago's the next destination on this map, but he want to kind of introduce it into all major cities around the country. He gonna try to use crime, but like I said, you can't. The military don't fix crime. You know.
Well, this is why. Well, I'm trying to play devil's advocate because, like, you know, Trump can't control the police officers because there's a state level corporation where the state has to do it. Mm-hmm. So he's using the federal, which is the military, to do what he wants them to do at the state level, but they're not doing it. So he's using his federal authority to use the military to do what he wants the states to do with the police officers. So I see what he's trying to do. I see what he's doing with that. I don't agree with it, but I think there is a place for the military to work within our communities. I think the Navy should be patrolling our ports. They should be having like stationed out by our ports, by our on the outskirts of our country. I don't think they should be sitting in the fucking major cities working in fucking bases and shit. I think if you're Navy, you need to be on our borders, protecting our borders, protecting the ports, maybe addressing like some of the shit that's coming in and out, because that will crack down on human trafficking and drug trafficking and all that shit. If that's what you really want to do. I think our Air Force, you know, they should be some type of patrol in our skies, or, you know, we should have a fucking Chinese air balloon flying across our fucking country.
Right. And
nobody knows what the fuck it is. And then we find out the Chinese spy balloon. We have an Air Force for that. Why the fuck is our Air Force not patrolling our skies at some type of level? But like I said, but while doing that, it's also instituting, like you said, the presence of military crackdown on, you know, of society. I think that's dangerous. I think, like I said, what they try to do is when they try to enforce, before they start infringing on your rights, the first thing they try to do is convince you that it's for your own safety. You know, like with COVID, they said, oh, if you don't start wearing a mask, and if you don't get the COVID vaccine, if you don't stay 6 feet apart, if you don't stay in your house for 7 days, you're gonna kill your grandma. You're gonna kill your kid. You'll kill. You know, they try to make it seem like it's safer for you to do it, to listen to their own orders. That was the first test. I think if anything was the biggest test to see how we would stand up to any type of dictatorship or any type of regulating by military or anything like that. I think that was the first test. They was trying to see how tolerant we would be to them instilling curfews and boundaries and shit on us, and see how far we would resist based on our safety. So when we try to say, okay, well, we'll give up some of our freedom to be more safe, that's a very slippery slope. You know, and a lot of people do allow that to happen in some ways, which is stupid. But I think that's the one way we got to stand up against it. We can't keep giving up our freedoms for safety. Right. You know, like they'll tell you, oh, well, give up your guns. Why should we give up our guns? Because it's going to make you safer. It's going to be less shooting crime. Well, guess what? Now, if the government wants to be totalitarian and they want to take over our cities, well, who are you to stop us? You got no guns. You know, and like I said, and that's what us having the Second Amendment, you know, the right to have guns and shit, is because in our Constitution, we have the right to overthrow our government if they are being tyrant against the citizens. Like, that is in our Constitution, you know? So that's the whole reason why we have the right to bear arms. Because if you can't bear arms, then you can't overthrow a toxic regime. And we have the authority to do that based on our Constitution. So, you know, that's why I'm saying, like, when you was like, oh, we have to regulate guns more. Yes, but it's also a slippery slope where if we do too much regulation, they can crack down on our rights because we can't stand up against the government.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, as far as gun laws,
they're both of us. They're actually trying to take over black people or Muslims. They're trying to take over all of us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
So I feel like right now we need to band together with white people and stop trying to fight against them because of typical problems.
It's bigger than white, black. It's bigger than all that. Because
it's world jewelry, and that's the bigger problem.
That and rich versus poor, which still aligns with that whole concept. Because on the totem pole, you got them, but under them, you got the rich, elite white billionaires. So, it goes far back down with rich versus poor at the end of the day. Because, hell, I mean, it's more regular broke white people than it is,
Yeah, but they keep us fighting against each other. The broke in the class, the lower class, fighting against this narrative of white nationalism.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to get to you understand. Like, yes, there are racist white people that hate black people because they're black. There are white people that think black people are dumber because they're black. They have lower IQ scores because they're black. There's people that think that. There's people that think like that. And there's on the opposite side, black people that think the other way, where the white people come from the Caucasus Mountains. They're cave dwellers. They're animals. They have fur. They don't have hair. And there's people that think there's racism on both sides. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who is the bigger enemy. And it's not the white people. The white people is not the black people. It's the people you can't criticize, and that's the Jews. And that's what I'm trying to, like, as long as we keep harping, like I said, they like you're saying, they raised us on this ideology of hating Muslims since we were children. They raised us on this ideology of hating white people since we were children. And vice versa, they raised them on this ideology of hating black people since we were children. And now we grow up and we keep these narratives and we keep fighting against each other, and we're not looking at the real problem. The real problem is not the white man right now. The real problem is not the black man. The real
problem is not race related at all.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why we keep disagreeing on these race problems.
But that's what I'm saying, Pete. That's why I wasn't trying to. I wasn't even mean to debate because we got discredited from the original question of fucking white nationalism with the whole loophole of other shit. So that's what fucked us up. But yeah, race is not that main issue. It's deeper than race. It's deeper than white, black, and whatever else is. It's deeper than race because at the end of the day, when shit hit the fan, every American is going to be affected, regardless of what you look like or where you come from. Yeah. Every American is going to be affected.
Yeah, but if you don't align with who they want you to align with, your ass is cooked, boy. So,
I think the next situation is just trying to figure out what we gonna do as far as the next situation. I mean, the next election, midterms in the next presidential election, and as far as just,
I think people gotta do their research on these candidates, bro, and stop just going with these candidates because that's what they put in front of you. They tell you who's the finalist in the Democratic nominee convention and the DNC and the RNC or whatever they want to call it. Like, we let them determine who we should be voting for. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, because they're always going to pick their own puppets that they already have control of, that they already have dirt on, that they already have money invested in. Like I said, Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance, where the fuck J.D. Vance come from? He's already puppeted into being who they want him to be. Now they're going to throw him and prance him out in front of MAGA and say, oh, this is your new MAGA candidate. You need to vote for him because he's aligned with MAGA. And now people, like I said, we got to start doing research into these candidates, knowing where their background comes from, where they align with, who they align with, and start taking matters into our own hands and start voting for who we need to vote for. Because these motherfuckers with money ain't always the best people. Just like Elon. That nigga was saying.
My mom was just saying something. She was like, damn, she ain't heard enough from Elon in a while. But I noticed, and it's like, okay, Elon tries to play superhero anytime he don't get his way. He like to talk shit about Trump, and then we don't hear him.
I think that whole Trump beef is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think it's real beef, but I think Elon just a stereotypical nipple baby. When he don't get his way, he like to shout. When Trump shuts him up, you don't hear from him. And the next time Trump does something he don't like, see Epstein files or this, that, you know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you like how Elon and those other billionaires paid in our face with this deep state shit, and they were the deep state, or at least they were a part of the deep state.
Yeah, or this technocratic, new takeover they're trying to take. So
right, with this AI shit. But I heard we had fucking
They're trying to deregulate that shit for 10 years, bro. In the Big Beautiful Bill, they had that shit in the Big Beautiful Bill. They took it out though, but they were trying to pass that shit in the Big Beautiful Bill, a deregulation of AI for 10 years in all 50 states.
But you ever heard of sentient AI?
Yeah, I heard something about that. I don't think I went to.
I heard that it was actually developed, and I gotta look more into the details, but I heard it actually had developed or something like that, bro. And I don't know, my mama, she be sending me this list of, I don't know where she be getting them from, but it's a list of like a bunch of jobs that's supposed to disappear within like the next 5 to 10 years. And It just make you wonder, like, okay, so once this AI shit goes into effect, because it's gonna go into effect, right?
That's why you see 100,000 Chinese people coming over here.
What's gonna happen to the average American?
Exactly, they're gonna be slaves. You're gonna be slaves. You're gonna be fucking bug pickers. You're not going to Walmart no more. And that's why they're trying to, like I said, this whole technocratic thing. They're trying to push all these AI, all these electric cars into our society because then they can regulate how far out of your zone you can go. They want to push all this. Facial recognition, so they can give you credit scores, social scores.
Before you leave, talk about Palantir, because that's
Palantir.
Palantir, yeah.
So Palantir is a software that is created by Peter Thiel that they are currently using in Israel, that they are using as facial recognition, and facial recognition, heritage, family associations, social media posts, any type of influential thing that you can get, like the banking, your financial records, everything. And you running it through an AI software called Lavender, where they give them Israelis statistic on what part of Gaza they need to bomb because these people are most likely to be Hamas. Now, they give these Hamas statistics, we killed 15,000 Hamas or whatever they say, 20,000 Hamas or whatever. I don't think that's actually verifiable. I think that's just based off their AI software that's giving them rough estimates of who in this area is potentially who in this area is potentially Hamas. And they literally indiscriminately bomb these areas because Palantir software called Lavender is telling them, hey, this person is related to this person, that's related to this person, that's related to this person. So since this person is dead, this person is more likely to be a Hamas fighter. So you should bomb more this little geographical area because this is where you can probably find the most Hamas fighters. And that's what they're doing now. And now they're doing that. They're trying to develop that in America. Palantir is now being developed in America, a software in America on Americans, where they're our data harvesting, our files, our banking information, the stuff we post on social media, everything, your arrest records, everything. And they compiling it, and they're gonna say, it's for us to know your taxes or to properly regulate crime or any kind. They're always gonna try to tie it back to safety or to financial tracking or some type of benefit to you. And it's bullshit. It's all about control. It's gonna be a big ass controls regime of your technology. Listen, where do you walk around without a phone or AirPods or Apple Watch? Everything that you have that's technology wise is going to be able to track you, and tell your social score and like all kind of crazy shit. This is not going to be anything different than what the hell China's doing. That's why they bring these 600,000 Chinese people into America, because these people are there. China's more developed with AI than we are. Why do you think that they bring these Chinese people over? They're not bringing Chinese people over here for regular fucking jobs, these regular wagey jobs.
Right.
They're coming for the tech jobs. They're coming for the high tier jobs, so they can incorporate this technocratic regime where your Tesla is not going to let you go 15 miles outside your jurisdiction, so you can't go to these other neighborhoods. Your car only lasts a certain amount of time. You can only go a certain amount of space. Like, this is all going to be controlled, bro. Your bank, your phone's going to have all your credit cards. I ain't gonna lie, I used to have fucking Apple Pay. I need to stop. All your fucking information is gonna be on your phone. Where in order to
I was thinking about that shit, bro.
Yeah, like that's where all your information. That's why the cash. People don't carry cash no more. Your cash is your freedom. Once they stop everyone from using cash, that's why they're pulling cash out of societies. They're saying, oh, our business saying, oh, we don't take cash no more, or only a perfect amount of bills, whatever. Because when they take this cash, they're not taking, like, when these fucking companies take this cash, any extra cash, they're turning that shit into digital currency. Digital currency is gonna rule the world. And once they got everything into digital currency,
I do. You said it's called Palantir, right?
Yeah, Palantir.
I do believe Palantir is a modern example of the mark of the beast, right? As kids, when you learn about the Illuminati and mark of the beast, you kind of learn about this, new world order, this one government ran world, right? Which is kind of seeing like kind of what. To a certain extent, I guess wouldn't be able to happen considering China or Russia. I can't see them ever conjoining with them. But to an extent, I can kind of see like what direction these people, this deep state is going in. Oddly enough, not right now. And I'm gonna get a little kind of off subject when it comes to politics. But not right now. I don't think humans are ready for this right now to be in a one world government. But honestly thinking, I feel like once humans get to the point where ethnicity, culture, language, religion doesn't play a part in the designer factor, and I feel like it would be better at the end for humans to be in a one world type of ideology. Because think about this, bro. Like, okay, so I'm getting off topic from politics. So when we think about, aliens and just higher beings, for example, right? 9 out of 10, a group of people who was able to travel space and figure out science and figure out how to, warp time and space and whatever the case is and travel interdimensional. 9 out of 10, they don't segregate themselves with countries and ethnicities. They don't segregate themselves with, they don't. 9 out of 10, it would be more so a one world type of government, because I don't think us as humans will be able to evolve to the next level to where we can figure out how to. Because right now we're still technically stuck in the Iron Age. We haven't really progressed past the Iron Age. We still rely on fossil fuel. We still rely on just certain things to supply our natural, energy source. So, day-to-day energy sources. And I don't think that us as humans will be able to get to the next level, as a species, until we are able to adopt a consensus of us being one thing. Because I always thought about, imagine Russia, America, China, Germany, put all their research together for one conjoined space program. Instead of competing against each other, what if there was one consensus of research going to one thing instead of people competing or people trying to make things a business, or people, because I don't know if you were looking too much into the deep state world when it comes to like technology. I don't know if you look into that type of stuff. I gotta put you on some shit. Well, so when you look into the deep state world when it comes to technology and like their whole world of stuff like that. So from my understanding, okay, so you have the United States, you have the executive branch, but obviously the deep state, in a governmental sense, isn't ran specifically by the president. So there are a lot of independent companies who fund a lot of these research projects when it comes to high technology, reverse alien technology, because, believe it or not, the government has told us UFPs and UFOs do exist. We do have certain things that we can't explain, what the average person can't explain. So not only is there a governmental system when it comes to certain things, within the government there's a deep state of independent people who fund a lot of research and try to develop a lot of their own technologies for their own individual benefits or to sell when it comes to wars. Like, for example, one of the things that a lot of people, so for example, like different type of fighter jets. So when we go back 50 years ago, like certain things what we think of a fighter jet from World War II, if you compare it to a fighter jet right now, they would look at it as like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times the technology be existing way
before they definitely have more technology than we have access to, for sure.
So there's a lot of deep state that goes into funding these high, even with AI. We just not finding about AI, but realistically, AI has been a thing for probably over like 2 decades, probably, and development stages before we even realized what the fuck AI truly was. So, in a sense of even when we developing certain technologies, because people look at things like a business, because people have their own personal endeavors and things, bro, it holds us back as a people. Because imagine how many cures, which they probably do have a lot of cures they haven't released yet.
Oh yeah,
but because
it's all monetary development, like improvements and shit that they take. Like they use everything. They give us what they want to give us, just to benefit off of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the first. If you want to be technical, the first type of AI that we've been introduced to was like Siri, and we never even realized that was AI. Like if you want to be technical, that is what AI is. It's like when you put in ChatGPT. That's literally what you ask Siri. She's doing the exact same shit that ChatGPT is kind of doing, except she's searching in Google. Well, AI ain't doing nothing but conglomerating all these other social medias and all these other medias and shit into one information pool and then spitting out what you asked it for. You know, so that's literally what Siri was AI. We didn't even know about it. So think about how long we had Siri, and think about how far AI is now, and think about how far they could go, and think about what access we have to it. Like the cell phone, we like, oh, we got that cell phone. Like the cell phones that these other motherfuckers got access to, is nowhere near the cell phones that we using now. Like, these motherfuckers probably got intergalactic fucking galaxy cell phone shit or some shit. Like Area 51, all that weird shit that they got access to. No one knows what about the Bermuda Triangle, but we know it's some type of shit that goes on over there. You know, it's like.
I gotta sing some shit, bro. I wish we could react to that one thing, cause damn, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Outside of politics, bro, I think you should start looking to like the deep state of the whole UAP world, which is unexplained aerial phenomenon. You should start looking to all that shit, bro.
I mean, like I said, the other day I seen some shit fly out the fucking sky on the way to work. Like that was this morning, I think. It was like some this was a shooting star or whatever, but it was like some fucking light just.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on to somebody, bro. Watch his name when you get home. His name's Stephen Greer. He'll probably introduce you best to the whole deep state world, bro. The whole UAP shit. I'm seeing one of his interviews. That's a good one. But they just go to say this deep state shit goes so further than just, face level politics. This shit goes down to the energy tech world. This shit goes down to just so much shit. You